Hey guys, this is Jeremy Miller from Sticky Branding. I'm so delighted to be here with you today and to do a short interview with Branders Magazine. So let's dive into it. Who am I? Well, my name is Jeremy Miller and I'm a brand strategist, a keynote speaker, a best-selling author. I've written 2 books, Brand New Name and Sticky Branding. And I'm also the founder of Sticky Branding, which is a brand building agency that helps organizations from around the world grow sticky brands. Well, this really ties into the philosophy of what is a sticky brand. For me, branding isn't about logos or taglines or colors. Branding is about that bond you form with your customers, a bond where they choose you first. And if you think of any remarkable brand, Apple, Nike, Starbucks, or maybe it's your favorite restaurant that you visit on a regular basis with your family, they all have that one thing in common. Their customers choose them first. But it's bigger than that. They think of them first, they refer them first, and they come back again and again. And they do that not because they have the best product or the best price. They do that because they know the brand, they like it, and they trust it. And when your customers know you, like you, and trust you, they will choose you first. And that is what it means to have a sticky brand. And I think any organization of any size can create those bonds, can create those connections where their customers choose them first. And it's an aspiration that's worth shooting for in every organization. I am so pumped about this. In October, I launched my second book called Brand New Name. And Brand New Name is a graphically designed branding book that shows you how to name or rename anything. And this book is totally unique in the marketplace because a lot of naming is one of those topics that flies totally under the radar. If you go on Amazon, there's only 2 or 3 books on the topic. And the struggle that I've always found as a marketing person, as a brand strategist, is none of those books actually gave me the tools and process that I needed to solve naming problems. So what Brand New Name has done is it gives you part 1, all the process and or all the strategies and inspiration and science that shows you how names get stuck in your mind, how they persuade people, and how they are such incredibly important brand assets. And then in part 2, I give you a step-by-step process on how you can name or rename anything. A company, a product, a service, an idea, even a campaign. Well, naming for me, and what I think a name is the most important marketing or brand asset inside any organization. A name is the longest living artifact of any company. You think of it, a website or marketing campaign has a shelf life anywhere from a year to 4 years, but a name lasts forever. We have names like Ford going back to 1907, or Colgate going back to the early 1800s, and names like escalator and zipper and all these common words that have been around for 50, 100, 200 years. The companies change, the people's change, the products change, but the name doesn't. And the name becomes a vessel that contains all the meaning and experiences of a brand. Every customer experience, every piece of knowledge, every information that a customer gains about a brand, whether it's the company or a product or a service, is all contained within the name. That's how we communicate. That's how we share information. That's how we navigate the world. So creating a compelling, simple name that just captures the meaning of your business or brand is one of the most important business decisions you can ever make. So getting it right is essential. Now, what are some of the common misconceptions of naming? Well, I think the biggest misconception of naming is it's easy. For the first time in human history, we are experiencing a naming drought. We're actually running out of names. The hard part isn't coming up with an interesting or compelling name for your brand. That's actually kind of fun and creative. The hard part today is coming up with an available name. We are running out of domain names and trademarks. For example, in 1997, the last 3-character .com was registered. In 2013, the last 4-character .com was registered. And it won't be long until all the 5-character .coms are registered. And the problem is only getting worse because in the United States alone, there are over 543,000 new small businesses started every single month. That's equivalent to 2% of the population. In all developing countries, about 2% of the population on any given day are starting a business. And what's the first thing you do when you start a business? You go register the domain name. So we are consuming domain names at an astronomical pace. And not only that, we are consuming trademarks. So finding available names has become the real challenge. And the misconception is how easy it can be to create that name. So many times people leave naming to the last moment, or they don't give it enough time. They think they can get to it in a 1 day or a half day naming workshop. It doesn't work that way. So what Brand New Name actually gives you is a 3-stage naming sprint that helps you name or rename anything over the course of 2 to 4 weeks. Well, it is that question of process, but once you have the process, then the challenge comes down to volume. In order to find those available names, what we need to do is create a lot of options. And so what Brand New Name includes is a 5-day naming sprint. And what's totally unique about this book and this methodology is rather than hiring a consultant or an agency, what I show you how to do is to unlock the creative genius of your employees of your team to name something. And what the book includes is a 5-day naming sprint. So each day you get an exercise, some inspiration, and some process so that each one of the members of your team can generate ideas. And if you can get each person in your team to generate 5 good names per day for 5 days, then you're going to generate a lot of options. For example, if you only have 5 people, well, that's 25 names a day. And at the end of that first week, you'll generate 125 names. You take that to 10 people, now you're doubling this volume. Get this to 100 or more, you've got exponential options. Give you an example, I worked with a startup recently that had 45 employees. And over the course of 5 days, that team generated 639 names. And of those names, we had 40 that qualified, that didn't have trademark or domain name issues. We tested 10 and we market tested of 5 of those, and they actually chose 2. And that's the power of getting your employees involved in this. The more people you have generating ideas for your brand, the more likely you'll be able to overcome this naming drought. So once you've got a name, the real challenge comes down to launching it. A name is something that's just simply in your mind, it's an idea. But until you breathe life into it, you don't have a brand. So my challenge for you is if you are going through this naming journey, if you are creating a new brand or a new name, is to take the steps to breathe life into it. Launch it with enthusiasm. Get people to experience it. Let them have meaningful experiences where they understand who you are, what you do, who you serve, and then allow them to be continuing to be exposed to this over time. Think of this like your own personal brand. The more someone gets to know you, the more likable you are. Well, the same thing happens with names. Get it out in the world, promote it, share it, use it, get everyone using it. You've taken all this time to create a brilliant name. Now it's your job to breathe life into it. And as branders and as people who are passionate about branding, that's the work that you and I do. It's that we can take a brand name and breathe life into it and turn it into a remarkable brand. And I'm confident that you can do that. Now, I'm happy to answer any additional questions. You can connect with me on all the social networks. My company is Sticky Branding. You can Google us. You'll find me at stickybranding.com. I'm on all the social networks at Sticky Branding. And the books are available on Amazon or where books are sold. You can find Brand New Name or Sticky Branding. But yeah, feel free to connect with me. I'd love to chat. Thank you.